Greetings, welcome. I'm Reverend Rodney Giddens. So wonderful that you are here with us at One Love Center for Spiritual Living. Another wonderful day in the neighborhood of our consciousness. So, grand rising consciousness. Yes, we are living up to and in our truth. We are living in a wonderful space and time because we know that right where I am, right where you are, right where we are, God is. And we're going to start first. Also, God is love. And One Love Center, we recognize that. And we're going to start with our opening song of One Love.
There's a place where love grows, where the spirit in you knows that you're welcome as you are, shining bright like every star. Come and learn, come and play in the sacred light of day. We're unfolding, growing free in the One Love family. One love, one life, one spirit divine, one heart, one life, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah. One love, one light, one light, one light, one spirit divine. Yeah. One heart, one light, one light, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Welcome to the sacred space, where we honor every face, the splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing, hand in hand, together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, hearts set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one light, one spirit divine, one heart, one light, your journey and mine, where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love, to one. Welcome home to one love, where love grows, yeah. To one love.
One love indeed. Yes. Again, Reverend Rod here, and we're going to move right into why we are here, what it's all about, what we do with this love. We're on a mission. We're on a mission to provide a stable and welcoming community for all who choose to learn, practice, grow, and play in the unfolding of their understanding of spiritual principles and spiritual living. And we have a vision. We envision the world as a sacred environment where spiritual living flourishes through the continual growth and development of learning and the application of the spiritual principles. And our community has been lovingly created as a place of fellowship, meditation, prayer, sacred and healing service, musical celebrations, classes, workshops, and spiritual film. One Love Center practices compassion in service, love in action, and joyous, prosperous giving in the community. And we welcome everyone. We welcome our first-time guests. We welcome those who have been with us before. And we recognize the splendor of the infinite divine spirit that is you. Please know that we support you in being the best that you choose to be in this glorious life. And we thank you for celebrating spirit with us today. Welcome to a place where love grows. Welcome to One Love Center for Spiritual Living. And so one of the things that's most important to us is prayer. Before we go into that, we have someone who's going to deliver the opening prayer. Is our guest for today, first time guest, Dr. Jermel Gilliam. He's also a religious science practitioner, founder of Baltimore Center for Love. And we met just recently at a wonderful dynamic Centers for Spiritual Living conference in Reno, Nevada. And so I just did a quick introduction. Dr. Jermel is a native of Baltimore, Maryland, a beloved father, husband, and military vet. He's a hospice chaplain and a licensed social worker, almost 30 years of service in human services experiences. He's got quite a long list of accomplishments, and I think primarily he does hold a Doctor of Ministry and Pastoral Formation, a PhD in Clinical Pastoral Psychology, and he's a host of the Sacred Black Masculine Show. And as I mentioned, he is a practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living and founded Baltimore Center for Love, fostering interfaith dialogue and transformational spiritual practices. So there is no doubt, yes, he is one of us. He's of this deep spiritual mindset. And to me, that means he's got a big heart as well. And here's his contact information. And so greetings and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And so glad that you could be here and join us. And we're going to have you do our evocation and bless us into this holy space, holy place, holy space. I guess it's a space. And and then we'll continue on.
Sure. If we can all go within to that place that is most sacred. And I'm knowing that God is all there is. God is light. God is love. And God is presence. And so I'm knowing this to be my truth. And because this is my truth and we are all one, this is also the truth for Rodney. This is also the truth for Leda. This is also the truth for those who are witnessing this stream right now. For we are all one and we are all connected. And I'm recognizing and knowing that God is here with us, for us, always providing us with the love in silence, in our contemplation, and in our personal reflections. And because I know this is true, I simply am thankful for that. For in my thanksgiving, I know that God has always been providing me with my truth and what I need and what we need. And so I release these words into the law of divine mind, knowing that it is always coming back to me. Nothing I speak goes unheard. All things are acted upon. God is always being God. And so I release these words, knowing that it is done. And I say, and so it is, and now it is, Ashe, and amen.
Right on. We have been prayed up and prayed in. And what you experience is the power of prayer, treatment. You know, it's a formula that goes back even before the time of Jesus, but Jesus certainly used the same formula in knowing the truth about whatever the situation is and himself and each other. And as it says, prayer professionals are ready, willing, and able to remind you that spirit is the power, charged, and already always within you for your immediate use. And you can make your prayer requests to us by email. You can email us at onelovecenter.org. And you can also call us, leave a message. And that number is coming up shortly. It's a relatively new number. It's 646-685-3344. The number again, 646-685-3344. You can also use the Centers for Spiritual Living World Ministry of Prayer. You can email them at oneprayer@csl.org. You can call them leave a message if you don't get them live at 424-235-4326. And please know that all your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And if you need more in-depth time with one of our practitioners, and yes, I'm a minister as well, we are practitioners first. You can, again, contact us with the same information and make an appointment. We'll make an appointment for more in-depth time to continue to know the truth on a deeper level. We do spiritual coaching, and we are most certainly here for you. No one is turned away, so there is no good reason not to contact us. Okay, and also when it comes to prayer requests, I have a request that when you make a prayer request, let us know when your prayer is answered. Let us know. So, because we pray for 7 days. So if it's, first day, second day done, let us know. So we don't have to keep praying on it because it's done. And if it's not done, you feel your prayer is not answered after 7 days, then let us know. We continue to pray, and there's no charge. We don't charge. We don't a fee for our prayer. Again, there is a fee for more in-depth time, and that's quite all right. So that's that. Moving into our conversation. I'm so great to have Jermel here, Dr. Jermel, because we had great conversation. It was, brief, and we both, I think, recognized it could have gone on a long time because we just connected, and so I'm so grateful that you got to join us today. We're talking about this month, the practice of becoming. And this topic today is listening beyond the noise of the world, which for some people seems like a strange thing. Like, is it even possible? Because there can be what seems to be a lot of noise in the world.
A lot of distractions.
Right? The world of effect, the world of the busyness of the world. And so basically, what is one of the things that we consider about it? What if silence was a doorway to a more authentic life in the practice of becoming? So, we're talking about the practice of becoming. How easy is it to be in that practice of becoming when there's a lot of noise, when we're experiencing a lot of noise? So that's what we're talking about today. So anything you want to introduce before we go into that?
Sure. It's interesting that you're talking about the world of effects and just the distractions that we all fall victim to, knowing that we have things to do. But I believe that if you go within, and as I said before my prayer, that place that is most sacred, you will receive a gift. You in meditation, in silence and reflection and contemplation, you will receive a gift.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and this conversation is for everybody, those who may already know the aspects of this, or maybe even all of it. However, there may be someone watching this for the first time who's not even clear on what new thought is. What comes up is you've been guided to this. Maybe somebody shared this, and by all means, everybody share this with your community, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or however. And I know what it was like for me. It seemed like there's just the way it is. There's noise. There's distractions. That's all there is, and I didn't know about meditation or the power in meditation or really the power of silence. I didn't know it on a conscious level. I knew that when there were moments like where I was out in the country and I'm sitting by a stream and it's relatively quiet, not the noise of the city, I liked it. I felt good. I didn't know the word meditation. I just would sit in the silence and I would feel good, but it wasn't anything that I believed that could happen anywhere and everywhere that I was, So listening beyond the noise of the world is a great concept. And what we're going to jump into is pretty much how can we do that while we are in the world? Because we can't always remove ourselves from like if you live in the inner city or wherever our usual place of being is. How easy is it to remove ourselves? So what we do is we practice going within. So anyway, let's bring up our first quote, and that's what we do. We're going to discuss some of these quotes, and I'll do the first one. It says, "We are surrounded by all sorts of vibrations, and if we wish to carry any of them distinctly," I'll read that again. "And if we wish to catch any of them distinctly, we must tune in." That's Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, page 351. And he says all sorts of vibrations, and to catch them, to tune in, there's some of them I'd rather not tune into, some of those vibrations. But I'm pretty much assuming he's talking about the positive vibrations, healing vibrations. We need to tune in because they're not just going to seemingly land on us and stick. Tuning in requires effort. I always think of the radio. I guess that's an old time radio with the knobs, and you have to really work at tuning in and catching it on the right frequency so you catch it clearly, and I think it's the same in this form, in this human form, that sometimes we just have to work at creating the right, catching that right frequency so it comes in clear. We feel it clear. We hear it clearly. Yeah. So what about yourself?
It's funny, feeling out of alignment. So the question is, when you feel out of alignment, what does that look like? Is it you find yourself depressed, you find yourself anxious, tired, in fear? First assessing what does that look like, right? Mm-hmm. And then I believe that spiritual practices will help you to retune. You and I both know there's a whole long list of spiritual practices. So whether it be meditation, prayer, I would even add exercising, eating right, affirmative prayer, receiving a treatment, a spiritual mind treatment. There's so many ways to sustain yourself and uplift yourself. I think just knowing that there are opportunities there to change that presence of misguidedness that includes fear and depression and anxiety. So there is a way out of that. You shouldn't. God does not want us to live in fear, to be tired, to be, feeling impoverished. There are so many things that we're supposed to have and should have and will have if only we just believe that it is true and that it is real for us.
And that's great. Thanks. And, with your experience, it seems I could take a really good guess that you work with a lot of people who are out of alignment.
Yes.
Who are not necessarily in this philosophy. So how do you work with them with that?
Just looking at life from a positive perspective and not from a perspective where you are just responding, but really getting to a place where, you start looking, seeing the good, being the good. Sometimes folks just aren't being the good for themselves. I mean, if you could only be it for yourself, then you'll see something different in the world. I'll tell you something funny. My wife and I, we live in Baltimore City, and we have welcome mats on our front and back door. And when you walk out the door, you know how when you come in and it says welcome as if you're coming in? Well, I turned it around. It says welcome as if when you're going out. And I know that's kind of a funny thing, but essentially when we walk out into the world, we're saying welcome as opposed to, oh, I got to go to work. And I know that's a small thing, but it's a big thing because your perspective changes there. Just change the way you look at things, the way we see things.
I love that. That's you're right. That is it's a small action, but it has big, huge way of presenting oneself to the world, like "Look out, world, here I come."
Here
But
we come.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah, but in a, positive, uplifting way. I'm going to do that. I like that.
My daughter said, "Hey, Dad, you need to turn your matter." I said, "Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Fine."
Yeah, and the big thing about that is that it's our world. It's the world of our creation. So why wouldn't we be welcome, to our own world?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then we're going to make it the best world possible. I love that. Thank you. Notes, taking notes on that.
Yeah.
Let's
And the
see,
mat works
we do
the
have
same.
a comment.
The mat still works the same. So it doesn't matter if
Mhm.
it's that way or the other way.
That's right. That's right. I just want to add something to the conversation. We have Leda Pérez, our practitioner. She says, for me, out of alignment, so I'm overwhelmed or anxious, I take a breath, place my hand over my heart, and remind myself of divine within.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Leda, for that.
Yeah, she says, great idea about the mat. Exit for me says, thank you for your presence. All right. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Why don't you take the lead on that one?
Sure. After all these years, I'm beginning to see that tranquility is the depth of being that holds what we think and feel. And this is Mark Nepo, The Endless Practice, Become Who You Were Born to Be. And so the reflection is, what does tranquility feel like in my body, and when do I notice it most? I would say when I'm, because I work a stressful job, absolutely, there's a fatigue that comes, which says, hey, it's time for a vacation. It's time to, do some self-care. And the fortunate thing is that my job is really supportive when staff need to take off. So I've never seen it for me as a chaplain, but I hardly ever see that the team lead says, no, you can't take off today. Usually it's kind of coordinated, and they partner with you to coordinate your day off, even if it means moving people around. So I think just being able to know, hey, I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I need a break. I need to remove myself from this space and go somewhere else. So Reno, we were there for 5 days. I enjoyed not being at work. Even though I love my job, I enjoyed not being there and doing something outside of dealing with hospice. And you know what hospice is, dealing with the hospice day-to-day things. And so I really did enjoy that. So yeah, I notice it when I am tired, when I'm fatigued. What about you?
Yeah. And it's interesting because in the busyness, of my days, there are moments when I do feel tranquil and at peace, even though I'm in the busyness of it. Mostly that's because usually, and I always will say this, it's not that I love what I do.
Oh, I think the internet is slowing you down.
Choice. And so the tranquility, I do notice when it's missing. I do notice like, oh, okay, yeah, I feel a sense of tranquility when I am doing things like traveling or speaking with people and having different uplifting conversations. And that tranquility, I do feel that authentic me. It's like I love what I do because I love who I am. So that's usually when I'm noticing it, when I stop to notice it. But most of the time I'm just in it. I don't even think about it. I'm in that place of peace. So yeah. And anybody, please feel free to comment. I know we have Rain watching over with us. And so please feel free to make comments, everybody who's watching, whatever you'd like to add or ask. Okay. We're going to go into the next question, next quote. It says, the Lord will act on your behalf. You have only to be still. Exodus 14, chapter 14, verse. And for those who are not so familiar with the language or the inner working of this philosophy of New Thought, one of the things we do is study the words that we use and where they come from. And the word Lord um, comes out of from the word law, L-A-W. They're synonymous. And so the law of the universe, the law of life will act on your behalf. You have only to be still. And to me, that's like, all that busyness and all that, we were talking earlier, or it came up earlier about just the panic and the manic and all that goes on in the busyness of the world. A lot of times we have to be still and allow things to do what they do. It's like
Yeah.
you can't rush a cake in the oven. You can't rush a seed in the ground.
Yeah.
The law. We set the law in motion by our word, but we don't put our hands in the whole process. We have to let the law do what it is here to do.
Yeah.
And the Lord, same thing. Our willingness, I believe, is one important ingredient, but it's by the will of God that these things happen. And the reflection says, where in my life might stillness be more powerful than effort or struggle right now? But anyway, before we get into that, any comment on that quote?
Yeah, when I heard the Exodus 14:14, I also thought about what is that? Psalms 46:10, be still and know. So it's almost like there's a cross reference there. And so I know usually my wife has an expression. She says, "You're doing too much." I think sometimes when I'm doing too much, when stillness, sometimes just stopping, letting go the need to control, letting go the need to boss, just relaxing, and organically things happen the way they're supposed to happen. I think many of us struggle because we're constantly fighting for control of things. And so when you decide, hey, I'm not fighting this. This is going to be what it's supposed to be, and usually it works out. When you read my bio and it talked about my being a therapist, and oftentimes with folks having anxiety, what was most interesting is that all the folks that were suffering from anxiety, they would have kind of a hissy fit about things happening. And I would say, or that they thought was going to happen. I said, how often has that ever happened? And almost 99.9%, they said it never happened. So really, in our heads, we're creating this whole scenario that usually never happens.
Mm-hmm.
Usually never happens. If we just let go of the need to control, things work out for our good. I think we should do that more often, actually. And I'm not saying be irresponsible and not pay your bills, saying, hey, I'm saying, sometimes the things we fret about and struggle with, it's about our battles to be in control and just let that go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we have a contribution from Rain. And Rain says, tranquility for me is when I'm at the end of my day with my animal. I feel at ease and feel accomplished for the day. Yeah. So, we create wonderful scenarios for ourselves. And like you said, it is of our creation. We can create turmoil or tranquility.
Peace. Yeah.
Like some people might feel stressed out going home with their animal. Rain is like, yeah, I can't wait. And it's all a matter of our belief.
Yes.
And that so many different religions have that. It is done unto you as you believe, and if you are expecting, turmoil and stuff, well, that's what you're going to find. We have another contribution from one of our former and future speakers. When I let go and be in stillness, I see the beauty of life. My life. Oh, thank you, Abner.
Nice. That's beautiful.
All right. Yes. And we have, I believe this is Ellen, the practitioner, Ellen Suazo. Inner stillness helps us discern the truth. I love that. Yes, thank you for that. And and how many people can identify that when we're in a rush? And a lot of times we're in a rush, we're not breathing fully and we're not oxygenating our body and especially our brain. We can make rash decisions, if we're not making it from the stillness. So that's
Yes.
something really also important in our practice of becoming. So thank you for all those messages. Appreciate that. Lita also added, tranquility feels like God, peace, harmony.
Mm.
Um, some of you may not know, most of you probably don't know, but one of my email addresses is serenity at whatever, at AOL or whatever I use. It's also on my license plate. Serenity to me is like like another name for God. It's serene energy. It's like there's how could the presence, the Almighty, be upset about anything? It created everything. And to
Mhm.
me, if that's the case, then it's serene and it's the energy, So to me, it's like everything comes out of this place of peace, And anyway, let's go on to the next quote. I guess I'll do that, or no, you can handle that one. Why don't you do that?
Is that this one right here, Eckhart Tolle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, stillness is where creativity and solutions. Stillness is where creativity and solutions to problems are found. Becoming still allows us to access that deeper intelligence. Mm,
Hmm. What
that
comes up
deeper
for you?
intelligence. You know, again, I think that when you're still, hopefully, you get into practice where the Buddhists call it the monkey mind, and
Mm.
hopefully in your stillness you're able to release that need to talk about all the things you got to do, think about the things you got to do, and your responsibilities, at least the worldly responsible things that you have to do, and really begin to look into yourself, your presence, and receive that. It's deep intelligence because you don't have any control over it. It comes from anywhere. I did a message about that. We don't think that it's coming from the books that you've read or the people you've talked to. It's the divine. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from a place that cannot be counted or numbered. And so just knowing that God and spirit, or whatever name you choose, is providing itself to you, exposing itself to you right now. And so, being present, the gift, being present, that presence is being present. So just receiving that. And so for me, Eckhart Tolle always has an interesting perspective about how we see ourselves in the world and how we show up, and always like, when, reading his passages. And so it's just being open and aware, just opening that vessel, open at the top, opening to receive.
Yeah, absolutely. And about Eckhart Tolle, he's always big into now, and
Mhm.
the power of now and such. And now, or the stillness, really can only happen in the now. When I'm thinking, when I'm remembering the past, because that's not thinking, I'm thinking of something. Most of the time, we're trying to remember. But
Mhm.
uh, if I'm in the past, there's nothing that's really going to happen from that. There's not going to be any creativity in that. And if that's the case, then what am I doing? I'm wasting my energy, looking back and doing what? I mean,
Mhm.
I think about uh, what comes to me is when I'm in the stillness, when I wake up in the morning, or I am awakened in the morning by that divine download, is what I call it. That download, it's like it's not me trying to figure anything out. It's that
Mhm.
I am supremely open to what is coming through, and it wakes me up. And that
Yeah.
means I have to write it down or record it or something, But it happens in the stillness, and now the divine downloads pretty much can happen at any time, But when we're running around, I'm running around being busy and looking, and either I'm trying to look in the future or look in the past, and dealing with the world, uh, then yeah, I'm not necessarily going to catch that divine download.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
However, when I slow down, when I stop and just catch a breath, then it's like that still small voice of God,
Yes.
that we
Yes.
hear the still small voice. It's like, it's not going to try to yell or scream over everything else that's happening. It's like when I calm down, you know, uh, then I'm able to actually hear that voice. Even if the voice, it sounds like my voice, but I know I wasn't thinking that. Yeah. All right. So you want to take on I'll do this one. It says, in quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30, chapter 15 verse, and of the Holy Bible. And I like that because that's not what I was taught growing up. That wasn't my experience from seeing people in the world. It was all about, whoever's loudest, and whoever can, uh, physically show their strength.
Yeah.
To me, that,
Yeah.
that now I didn't agree with that, and I didn't like that because I didn't like to yell and scream over people, and I didn't like to exert physical strength over people. And so I thought lesser of myself because of that. And then in time, in study and in experience, like, what? There's more power in me being still and quiet and
Yeah.
trusting in that, and trusting in how things work without me trying to make it happen. And that's a great strength, especially like the example of planting a seed. You
Yes.
plant it. What was that commercial? Set it and forget it. You just put it in. Yeah, we have to nurture it, give it water,
Water
you know,
and sunlight
and pull the weeds out. But other than that, I trust that it's going to work out fine. Yeah. Any comments?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. The funny thing about, I mean, you're in New York City, I believe.
Yes.
And so in Baltimore City, some of the same things may exist. As a young man growing up, the guys that dressed the nicest, the guys who had the money, the nicer cars, who talk loud, who were the tallest, who were the most athletically inclined. They got all the acknowledgement and praise because they were stronger. And I'm using it with air quotes. And so, the quietness and the trust, which I'm going to say is your faith, is your strength. I think that's the part that shows up. Unfortunately, some of those guys, are no longer here with us based on those lifestyles. But and I don't celebrate it at all. But what I will say is that the strength that is in your quietness, your humility, your faith, that's the thing that stands firm for the long haul. And I don't take that lightly. So I just want, and I watching my son grow up, who's now 20, having those man-to-man conversations with him on a regular about just, you don't have to have the $300 pair of shoes. You're going to be fine with what you have now. And maybe later on, if you choose to buy that stuff after you pay your bills, okay, fine. But this is not necessary. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And we have one more quote we're going to bring up. Let's see. Well, okay, why don't you do that? Did you do the last one? Doesn't matter.
Spiritual experience comes in the stillness of the soul when the outer voice is quiet. It is a quickening of the inner being to an eternal reality. And this is Ernest Holmes' Spiritual Awareness, page 6. Spiritual experience comes in the stillness of the soul. I think there is an experience that it tends to build itself up once I would say any spiritual practice, whether it's stillness, whether it's prayer, you become wiser because then you're not afraid when earthly things happen. You can say, hey, I'll pray. I'll Go meditate out. There's so many wonderful things that you can do that'll weed out the fear or the anxiety or the angst that you may have, because you're like, oh no, this is happening. But knowing that your prayer does work, that it is something that it resides in you, it's going to make things happen for you. It will go heard. It won't go unheard. I'm sorry. So yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does speak to our practice, because these things don't just happen automatically. We'd like to think so, just because I read a book or, I watch something on TV or online, that does not necessarily equate spiritual experience. Spiritual experience is actual practice of being in the stillness and trusting and having faith. And it's interesting. I was reading something by Ernest Holmes. He talked about what it takes for faith, and it's believing, acceptance, and trust. And we have to practice these things, especially if we're not used to doing it on a regular basis. And so what I'm finding is I have to take a look at, what am I believing? What am I accepting? And what do I trust? And it takes work. And there are so many different ways. I mean, for who you are and what you do and the way you do it, you get to help a lot of people. And most of the time, it's going to involve people stopping and taking a look at what they believe. I know for me, I had to make serious changes in my life, and I had to change what I believed. I mean, there was a time I believed I wasn't going to get past 50 the way I was living, and I'm so grateful, that I had that divine intervention, that people came into my life and let me know that, hey, they might have been telling me all along, but I was finally able to listen and get that, I don't have to accept the way that I was thinking and believing anymore. I can make that change. I had to trust in some invisible power, because the things that I was trusting in were of the world, and it wasn't working for me. And I don't know about anybody else, and all those who are watching or listening, for yourself, or maybe, you can pass this on to somebody else. There's another way. That's what we talk about, being open at the top, about listening beyond the noise of the world. It's like, the noise of the world doesn't even have a welcome mat. It's like enter at your own risk. But so we're going to jump. And because of that, I want to say that the change that has to happen, is most certainly an inside job. The change that has to happen is up to each and every one of us on an individual basis. And I know that the divine, that God or the creator, whatever word you choose to use, has endowed us with everything that is necessary to make those changes. All right. So we are going to back all of this conversation up with a song by Eddie Watkins Jr. And he's going to tell us about, it's an inside job. So let's put that up for now, and we'll be right back.
All right. Everything is an inside job. Everything is an inside job. Change the way you're looking at a thing. The thing you're looking at is gonna change. Everything is an inside job. Everything is an inside job. You may have to dig deeper to mind what will release you. A feeling that you had that left you feeling sad. And there's nothing you can have outside yourself to fix face it, and that's the reason why sometimes we have to cry to let it all go. Be still and know everything is an inside job. Everything is an inside job. Change the way you're looking at a thing. The thing you're looking at is gonna change. Everything is an inside job. Everything is an inside job. You may have to dig deeper to mind what will release you. This may be hard to take, but the things we tend to hate is not a God mistake, placed here to be corrected. Every player has a role to make this world a whole, not for us to control. Be still and know everything is an inside job. Inside job. Change the way you're looking at a thing. The thing you're looking at is gonna change. Everything is an inside job. Well, you may have to dig deeper to mind what will release you. Everything is an inside job. Change the way you're looking at a thing. The thing you're looking at is gonna change. Everything is an inside job. Well, oh yeah, you may have to dig deeper to mind what will release you.
Everything is an inside job. We'll be back with Dr. Jermel in just a moment. But right now, we're going to go into prayer. This is a treatment, spiritual mind treatment, basically 5 steps. However, we're going to ground that conversation, just make sure it's rooted in our consciousness. And so I invite you to join me as we go within. We are focusing on the truth. Yes. And the trust, the acceptance and the belief. Because what better way is there to move into the stillness, into the quiet with abiding faith, knowing that in the stillness, nothing has to be done. And in that stillness, that's where God is. And God is everywhere, at all places, at all times. It is the all power in, through, and as, behind, above, around. It is just the ever-present place of life itself. And in this life are all places. So I give thanks for knowing that, that this conversation has empowered, enabled, introduced, offered wonderful opportunities for a greater awareness of listening, beyond the world, listening from the inside, on the inside, of the inside, and certainly from the inside. Knowing that the presence of the divine is within each and every one of its creations, regardless of what those creations look like. It's all God made by God, made by the Creator. And that's what the Creator does. It creates. And so I am knowing that everyone has an opportunity to listen to the sound of creation. Not just the outside world and the world of effects, but from the inner world. Listen to the divine voice. See in the divine mind with the eyes of the divine. You don't even have to open the eyelids, and you can see the truth. You can hear the truth, and therefore be and live the truth. And so I am knowing that this is another one of these divine opportunities. It's a different kind of do. It's not a busy do. It's a divine opportunity to be within, wherever we are, It could be in the middle of Times Square or any large metropolitan area where everything seems to be occurring simultaneously. And knowing even in that place, stillness can happen. Peace exists. Tranquility is order of the day. So with this awareness, speaking this word for one and for all, that tranquility shows up in all of our affairs. Tranquility and the stillness and the peace in this space. Each one gets to hear the voice of the divine. How grateful I am. And this is the truth for one and for all. In all of the affairs of the world, each one's individualized world, showing up in relationships, peace and harmony in the home, at work, at play, in all areas of the world, all stages of existence. There is a realization, a revelation that peace is the process. Peace is the answer. I am knowing that stillness is required for peace to be realized. I'm also knowing that is stillness and peace and harmony in the body and body of affairs, that vibrant health may come from vigorous exercise. However, it is most known and experienced in the moments of stillness and quiet. And how grateful I am to know that stillness is so vital in experiencing the world when it comes to achievement, when it comes to success, when it comes to all of where each one puts their energies, that there are moments of reflection and quietude. And that way, each one gets to hear and feel for their direction. And so for this, I am so grateful. For this, I know that this word spoken into the law of divine right action is already bringing it to fulfillment for each and every one. That each one finds a particular way to enjoy their tranquility, to use the stillness and the quiet, to not only hear that divine voice, but to be able to appreciate it. And not just listen, but get to act with it when that time comes. And so I release this word, yes, knowing that it is already done. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I simply know for myself and for all ones of the one that it is indeed done. And I affirm it by saying, and so it is, and now it is, right here and right now. Blessings, blessings. And what we're experiencing is indeed prayer and the power of prayer. We are prayer professionals, ready, willing, and able to remind you that spirit is the power, charge, and always already within you for your immediate use. Again, you can contact us by email, oneLove@onelovecenter.org, or you can leave a voice message at 646-685-3344, or call the World Ministry of Prayer. You can email them, oneprayer@csl.org, or you can call them at 424-235-4326. Your prayer requests are kept in the strictest of confidence. And we want to thank you. Also, this is very much so that we want to um, do our affirmations. And our affirmations are our opportunity to further ground ourselves in truth. And we're going to do this together. I'll do the first one. We invite, before each one, we invite each one to take a breath. I say take a breath and give a breath. Be in the flow. And here we go. It says, "It is so that today I recognize a voice of truth within my inner silence." Let's take a breath and do that again. It is so that today I recognize a voice of truth within my inner silence. And Jermel, you do the next one.
It is so that I listen with the ears of my heart, recognizing my unity with the divine in every moment.
All right, let's take a breath and do that again.
It is so that I listen with the ears of my heart, recognizing my unity with the divine in every moment.
And okay, each one, let's take and give a breath. It is so that through silence and presence, I awaken to my authentic self and the wisdom always within me. Let's do that again. Let's take a breath. It is so that through silence and presence, I awaken to my authentic self and the wisdom always within me. This is the truth, and so it is, and now it is.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to let's go talk about. Well, we have a contemplative question, and it says, "Are you willing to stay in silence? Let down your defenses and surrender to the healing whisper of what is true." And this is for everybody who's watching. You don't have to come up with an answer right away. Because it's contemplative, you just kind of meditate on this. Are you willing to stay in silence, let down your defenses, and surrender to the healing whisper of what is true? Everybody just take that on and feel free to answer that question through our Facebook site or send us an email, whatever comes up for you for that. So right now, I'm going to invite each one to participate in the ways in which you may have already been doing when it comes to abundance, when it comes to your own abundance and the prosperity and the abundance for One Love Center for Spiritual Living. And so, we give thanks for, all those who have been giving, who have been donating, who have been tithing. And we are very grateful for that. And we also, yes, we do have affirmations of abundance to mention as well. So for those who are choosing and planning and usually giving, again, we are grateful. You can give go to our website, One Love Center, OneLoveCSL.org, or OneLoveCenter.org, I should say. And you can go to PayPal, or you can give in whichever way feels best. We also have the Cash App, and you can do the Cash App at $OneLoveCSL. And we have the affirmation of abundance. And as Ellen, our practitioner, always reminds us, she likes to put her hand over her heart. And to me, it just feels that cosmic vibration, that yes, this is proof of life in one way, and we are energizing and empowering our hands and our giving sense of giving. And you can do more than cents, you can use dollars too. But anyway, affirmation of abundance. It's money as one of the many gifts of spirit is good. And as I share my offerings, I know that I am actively creating a space to receive more gift, more money, and more good. And I am grateful for the ability to give and for the good works these gifts do in our center and in our world. And now it is. Thank you so much. I do have some announcements. And Jermel, we're going to bring you right back. Okay. And first and foremost, the Science of Mind magazine is a wonderful, also powerful tool that has so much information. It has stories and lessons, and it has daily affirmations, and it's just a great way to feel more a part of who we are, and that's part of your practice of becoming. And today's, this month, artist, I'll say, excuse me, he is he has a daily meditation and affirmations. And today it says, I share compassion with the earth beneath me, the history behind me, the future before me, and the moment of now. And that's the reading affirmation for today, Jeffron Seeley. So for the Science of Mind magazine, you can actually get that for free for 6 months. Just send us an email, about your intention, to be on our email list, our membership list in that way. And we will put in for you to get 6 months free. So put your contact information there. We have Convention of the Americas, July 21st to the 25th. That's coming up soon. Early bird pricing ends June 1st. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. And before that's finished, so just look at the email. It's it's Convention of the Americas. It's in Spanish. So anyway, at gmail.com, you can also go to Centers for Spiritual Living website and find information there. You can find Convention of the Americas in Facebook as well. Okay, so our next conference, save the date. We have Conference of the we have Celebrating Our Soul Conference coming up. It's provided by People of African Descent New Thought Group, and the early bird has ended. However, you can make partial payments. You don't have to pay for it all at once. You can also, there's a way to join a group of 5 or more and pay less that way as well. We do have a quick little video, and I'll put it on right now.
The People of African Descent New Thought Group presents Celebrating Our Soul, Claiming Our Sacred Power at Unity Village from August 13th through 16th, 2026. This exclusive event hosts Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith of Agape International Spiritual Center, Brother Dr. Ishmael Tete from the Etherian Mission in Ghana, meditation leader and teacher, professional sacred space holder, Reverend Paulette Pipe, and more. The People of African Descent New Thought Group once again brings you top quality masterclass presenters like Reverend Deborah Johnson, Master Practitioner Aisha Mason, Reverend Vernell Nelson, Jeffrey Noble, and more. Not only do we have empowering workshops, but the grounds and ambience are sublime. Yes, it is very hot in August in Missouri, but the best part is getting to enjoy the best that nature has to offer. You, your kids, and or your friends can enjoy the Unity Village Nature Trail, the short waterfall, the amazing labyrinth, or you can join the group that is going to the one and only Negro League Baseball Museum and the Jazz Museum. Even if you don't go to the cultural immersion and field day, you can stay on the grounds and enjoy pampering yourself with energy workers' offerings, such as a massage or reflexology, Reiki, or pranic crystal healing. That's right, pamper yourself. The best price is now during early registration through March 31st. Don't delay. Register today at padntg.org. Be there.
Okay, so definitely take part of that. Also, the book of the month, Mark Nepo, The Endless Practice, Becoming Who You Were Born to Be. And that is at your press. So that's it. We're going to bring back our wonderful guests, the Dr. Jermel Gilliam. And any final remarks before we go into prayer and close it out with a song?
No, I'm in awe of all the wonderful things that your community is doing, and I'm thankful for the invite to be with you this morning, well, rather afternoon now, and I look forward to meeting you again in person at this next conference that's coming up, and so yeah, I hope that the listeners will take advantage of the gifts that have been given by you this morning.
Well, thank you so much. And the good thing is I was not alone. You know, we definitely, a lot of nuggets. That's very wonderful and positive. Thank you so much for that. We're going to go into prayer. There was one other comment that I kind of missed out on, and let's see where that was. Oh yeah. That was, oh yeah, I see. The past keeps us stagnant. Thank you so much for that, reminding us to be at peace in the present moment. Yeah, that is so important. So we're going to share a closing prayer. All right. And I'll just start it off. And so grateful I am to know that in this presence of the one, that is where we all reside. And I'm so grateful that this time together provides each and every one with spiritual tools to practice becoming all that they are meant to be. Removing ourselves from the past and being in the now, being in the present, that is where true stillness resides. And as we go forth this week, each one is charged to find that place of peace, the presence, the tranquility that we know. You don't have to go anywhere. It's an inside job. And I pass my word to Jermel.
Yes, and I know that God's love is my love, and my love is a demonstration of God's love. And so with that knowingness, I stand on the truth that we are all one, united in learning and living up to God's presence as it is giving to us every day without exhaustion. And so we stand in the stillness, knowing that the stillness is where everything is pure. It is basically untouched. It's untainted. It is all God.
Yes.
And I accept it as my very own and know that it is also available to all those under the sound of my voice. And we should not take it lightly, for stillness and peace are one.
Yes. And this is the truth as it has been spoken. Listen, it's all the divine word coming from the stillness within, from that divine direction. So this word is released into the divine action of the law, and with gratitude and thanksgiving, I simply affirm that it is the truth being revealed in the here and the now.
Yes.
And so it is, and now it is.
And now it is, yes.
Right on. Thank you so much. We have a closing song, and then after that, we'll say goodbye. So.
One love family, one love. connection. Joyous sacred celebration. We give thanks for all we are. Every soul has come so far. Love in action, service true. The divine spirit that is you. We're awakening, can't you see? Living love and living free. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. One love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to this sacred space where we honor every face. The splendor of the God in you, shining through in all you do. Learning, growing hand in hand. Together we will understand. Prosperous, giving, hearts set free. One love is our destiny. One love, one life, one spirit divine. One heart, one life. Your journey and mine. Where compassion flows and grace abounds. Oh, one love, where love grows, love is found. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. One love, where love grows all around. Welcome home to one love. Yeah. Welcome home to one love. Where love grows. Where love grows. Where love grows.
All right. One love indeed. All right. Thanks again. Peace and blessings. All the best to each and every one of you. Thank you again, Jermel. A pleasure to have you. And we have a quick little message I want to share. Let's see. This is and Chuck Maddox. Thank you for watching along, Chuck. And Abana. And we had Rain, Ellen, everybody. Thank you, most certainly. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you again. Infinite blessings in the stillness. Thank you, Ellen. Bless you all. All right. So, see you next week. Peace and blessings.
Take care. Bye.